What's happening, everybody? Thank you for being here at All Access Live with Kevin Rankin. I'm going to ask a favor. If you came here anywhere other than YouTube, I would love it. If you go to the link below, go to youtube.com/@accesskevin. Subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit the bell to be notified about upcoming episodes. Like this episode and share it with your buddies. You know you're going to want to. Besides that, I would also love it if you choose to become a member. Members get exclusive access to episodes only to the subscribers there. So members have access to a private interview with Kelly Keegi from Night Ranger at his place in Arizona. We hung out with Ginger Lynn, adult video superstar, Cy Kernan from The Fix, and Midyear from the Ultravox. We got some backstage hangs with Honeymoon Suite on tour. So lots and lots of members only access. But if for nothing else, you want to subscribe and watch these episodes for free, please do so. Also, if you are interested in playing guitar or you want to buy accessories, get some repairs done, maybe take some lessons online, go to 5starguitars.com. 5 Stars based in Beaverton, Oregon, which means that if you order online and you want to save a ton of dough, there's no sales tax. So buy yourself a guitar, get some accessories, and when you check out, use the promo code of All Access Live. You're going to save 15% off everything you see. So tons and tons of savings. They are incredibly supportive of my show, and I would love it if you support them. My next guest has been on this show before. She's a superstar, an international superstar. She and her husband have done plenty of traveling all around the world. We hung out 15, 20 years ago for the first time, and I realized that she was a dynamic force. She's got a brand new single out with members from Kiss and Megadeth. So please welcome all the way from her place in California. I've got both Marina V and Nick Baker. How you guys doing?
Hey, and our little daughter picking.
Oh, hey! Well, we've got a. I love it. Well, you know what? Oh my gosh, she's gotten so big.
She's almost 6.
Unbelievable. She was just a tiny little toddler when we did the episode before. If she wants to come on camera, but I know she won't be able to hear us, right? Because you guys have you know, in the amazing modern day technology, there are still glitches. So just before we went live, folks, if you notice this, Marina and Nick have a phenomenal audio system where they get to do a shared. This is how relationships stay together, though, right? Otherwise, you guys would be on the other side of the couch texting each other. But this is what keeps you together. You get to share an earbud. I love it.
Yeah, we are sharing an earbud.
Yeah. You've got a ton of people out here in the chat. I'm really glad to see it. A lot of people are here supporting.
A lot of these lovely folks, a lot of my Twitch.
Good stuff. So, hey guys, if you are in the chat and you want to make any comments or anything like that, it's easiest if you're on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/@accesskevin, go to this episode because everything you chat with there, we're going to see it in this live chat. We answer some questions. You guys already know a lot about Marina and Nick, but I'm betting that we're going to get through some stuff that people don't know about you guys today. So first of all, you've got brand new swag and merch. Look at you, Marina. You've got.
I am rocking it. And the person who designed it, Ick the Troll King, from dear friend, he is watching here. Thank you very much. A lot of my friends here from Twitch.
Oh, that's
Thank
cool.
you so much. I see all the names, you guys. Thank you.
Looks to me too like the people that are in the chat, they're not just stateside. You've got some folks overseas as well, huh?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, thanks guys so much. It's late in Europe now. Very late. It's
awesome.
1 a.m. in London.
Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Nick and Marina, we first gigged together. I was alluding to that in the setup. I think it was the Warner's Theater in Fresno, California. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You and I shared a drum kit that night.
We did, and actually, it was not a great drum kit. Unfortunately, we had. I mean, it happens, right? Sometimes you get a backline kit that might fall apart, but that's how we bonded. I think we both had a mutual. You got to roll with technology sometimes, right? So
absolutely.
And so that's what started it. And then we both realized that our formative years were all about Kiss. That was our and I think we both realized that Eric Carr was a real transformative person in our lives, right? So
100%.
So guys, you didn't know this, and poor Marina, but this entire episode is going to be about the early days of Kiss. And
please not. Just a little bit.
At least the era.
Oh my God. I got lots of Eric Carr stuff back over there. And Kiss stuff throughout the years, but I'm thinking. I mean, we know that about your early years, Nick. But Marina, you grew up in Russia, correct?
Yeah,
Like,
in Moscow.
okay,
Hmm.
so were there pop artists that you grew up inspired by, or what music really got you from the beginning?
They were definitely pop artists, and I was a preteen when I got into pop music, and so there were a bunch of Soviet pop acts that I loved, or post-Soviet pop acts. I was a teenager, so I liked,
Sure.
that kind of music. And to this day, I cover a lot of their songs on my Twitch streams because the music is, I mean, the production is obviously dated, but the music and the melody is the not so much the lyrics often, but very, very, very good songwriting. So I was influenced by that. But we didn't get much of the, only some. Never heard of Kiss until I met this guy, seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, then we can pass on Kiss, but one cover that I found and actually used in the Instagram promo for this, while Kiss was an early favorite of mine, I was an obsessed Scorpions fan. Like, to the point of, if they knew, they probably would have gotten a restraining order. Like, I went to Germany to find them when I was 18. I was that into
Wow.
them. And
It's
it
amazing.
was about the time that Winds of Change came out, which you covered in a beautiful form. For me, that song was kind of where Scorpions jumped the shark. But
Oh, sorry.
no,
For
but
me, when they started existing.
yeah, well, of course, and honestly, it did bridge the gap for a lot of, um, I mean, in the earlier '60s, you had bands like the Beatles and the Who and Led Zeppelin and Rolling Stones that brought American and British music together and European music together. But I agree with you. I think Scorpions were the band that actually brought the world together because they were huge in Japan. They were big. They brought the Russian connection, and they were a European band, and also the States. So I'm gonna give all credit to Scorpions, man, so
And
props to
Marina's
them.
former manager managed them.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah,
W
David
what
Krebs.
what when we bring the Scorpions on, I want you to be there to help, with the manager to discuss that, but it's not a Scorpions show, it's not a Kiss show. You've got a lot that has happened between the time that we had you on before and now. The first thing I want people to know, if you're watching this, you can see there's a link right below in Marina and Nick. It goes to their Patreon. And if you've not done this, check out all of the options and all the features that you get. They have a really low entry fee to be able to get into this Patreon, and you get free music as part of Patreon subscribers every week, which is insane to me that you're giving this stuff away, but you get other stuff too. So one of those benefits is that you have a behind the scenes on your new Disney Plus release for the Spider-Man series. So can you tell us just a tiny bit about that and then what they might find when they actually jump in your Patreon?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So first of all, I'm just extremely excited to be a part of more of the Marvel universe now. It's really amazing. My song that I co-wrote specifically for this project is out now on Disney Plus on the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man
Mhm.
series, and so that is out there for everybody. People know this. But for my Patreon subscribers, I always create the behind the scenes things, something that I would never share with general public because it kind of makes it special. It's our little circle. So this one, I told them how it came about because it's fascinating being in the music industry. Amazing opportunities come and go. And sometimes they mostly go, but once in a while they pan out. Anyway, so I made a behind the scenes how this happened and the process. And people who are my Patreon subscribers, several of them are here in the chat on Twitch and Facebook and here YouTube. You guys, like it's really fun to see behind the scenes. I think it is.
Yeah, what she said. But what's funny is, the Spider-Man, the whole Marvel world is just. They have such a strong culture in the Marvel world, and Marina has heard so much from the fans uh, of Spider-Man. It's really an amazing thing, and it's one of those things where that you hear about where you don't know it's going to take on its own life, but then it does, and this has been really cool.
Yeah, it has been amazing. Now I even have my own Marvel Universe wiki page. Like what?
Oh, really? Your
Wow!
own.
I
That is
am.
amazing. I have a really great friend that does voiceover for a lot of like the video games, the Marvel video games for Spider-Man. And his career has been expanded because he's doing a ton of Comic Cons now. There's
Oh,
a huge contingent of Marvel fans that want to know everything about all of the producers of all the content, right? The actors, the voiceover, the music, the songwriters. And so there's yet another chapter in Marina V's life that's going to be, I'm sure, keeping you busy. How, um, one of
thank you, by the way.
the mysteries, right, about like making money with music, the Patreon idea is a fantastic one because it allows you to have a community of people that you sort of share back and forth. But a lot of people don't realize that musicians aren't getting paid the way that they used to. They're not selling records. They're not even merchandise is really difficult to sell because the way to sell merchandise is to be out on the road in front of a lot of people and you got to tote all that merchandise with you. It's expensive and and so it's a real challenge, especially for DIY, sort of grassroots people like, without a label. So, music licensing, sync licensing for radio, TV, soundtracks, and that kind of thing. Do you have somebody that's actually working on getting your music or how like I don't want to give away all the secrets about how you got the Spider-Man deal, but do you have somebody that works on getting your music and all these placements?
I used to for a while, but I'm doing all of it myself, really. And it's just, I've been in the Los Angeles music scene for a long time, and I've made a lot of connections over the years. And this Spider-Man thing came from one of those connections. So it's really just, a lot of networking and making sure people know that you exist, that they remember once they met you and hopefully liked you, they remember that you actually exist and you have music for them. So it's pretty much a full-time job just in its own to try to keep people updated that you exist.
Yeah.
Kevin, to your point about the money people make, there's the funny old adage you've probably heard about only a musician would put $5,000 worth of gear into a $500 car and go to a gig that pays $50.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so you've got I see Richard Loves Music in the chat on Twitch. He mentions that he generously tips at the live gigs he attends, and that is one thing. And guys, I'm not here to try and like sell you guys on the idea of giving. This is not the platform to just. Well, yes, it is absolutely. Make sure that you buy everything you can from these guys. I mean, like as you may have noticed, guys, if you got here earlier, not only are these guys trying to get their music heard by as many people as they can around the world, they're raising a daughter on this, this amazing journey, right? And Nick, you became a doctor right about the time that we spoke last as well. So all this and
Yeah,
more, right?
yeah. I got a doctorate in educational leadership curriculum and teaching, and yeah, and people just said, "How do you have time for this?" And I don't.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
But it's okay.
well, how much of your time is spent performing live? Because Marina, I know you do a lot of live streams on Twitch, right?
I do. Although these days I'm doing only once a week, 3 hours each stream. I used to do
Only.
3 times a week, 2 hours, but I have cut down. But I love it. I love it. And whenever cool opportunities come up, in terms of touring, I do. Um, and what else? What have we done touring wise? Not. I mean, not. We've done a lot in the past until she was born.
Yeah, we just played with Macy Gray in Ventura not too long ago, and
Oh my God.
that was a cool show to share the stage with her. So things like that come around, but really Marina does a lot of streaming now, and it's go. I mean, we have the amazing Twitch community here. These guys have been awesome.
I know we have a lot of
Yeah.
people in Twitch. I love you guys. It's just a lot of the chat is lighting up. Thanks, guys. And I
I
went. Did you know, Kevin, that I went to Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago and performed at a Stan Lee's Comic Con. So that was
no
pretty amazing.
way.
But that was way before, now I'm like doing this. So it's like maybe somebody will recognize me there this time. Probably not.
What did you so on that particular event, did they set you up with like a backline keyboard and you just perform solo or did you
Yeah, I
have
performed solo some of the
okay.
tracks, and then I did like photograph signing, and I was like all these famous actors and like a couple of musicians, me, And like I had like a few people like, who is that? It's
Man,
like super famous actors whose faces you know, and but it was still amazing. It was the world's largest dome where I performed.
oh,
It was huge. It was amazing.
that did you go along on that trip, Nick?
I did not go on that trip. I stayed behind and took care of Violetta, our little girl. So,
Amazing. Yeah. The balance, the balancing act.
and
I
it was
mean,
great.
right.
You know, I love spending time with her.
Of
He's an amazing
course.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't surprise me. Aside from the fact that I recognize your guys' musicianship, when we did that show together, I just really enjoyed your humane vibe. I mean, you guys are wonderfully warm people, and I'm glad that you're able to figure out a niche to do this and be able to perform live on the streams. But uh, it would seem to me that you're almost in a position where you could, if you could get on the right tour, like the Macy Gray gig, would you be able to tour with someone like that and bring your daughter out with you and actually just hit the road?
Well, it depends because like we have done a shorter tour, like a week and a half with Beth Hart a couple of years ago. Do
Oh,
you do you
right
happen to
on.
know Beth Hart?
Of
She's
course. Yeah.
incredible. We've
Yeah.
toured with her in the past, and then we did like we were going
We've known
maybe.
Beth for like 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so if and when she asks me again, hopefully when, I would try to say yes. It just depends because really having a 5-year-old kid is as beautiful as it is challenging,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we don't want to drag her on the road and make her stay past midnight and then not get enough rest. I mean, it's a lot for an adult.
Yeah.
And for a little kid, it's very tough life. So we consciously made that decision to really scale down on touring. But when cool opportunities come up, we will take them.
Yeah. And Beth and her husband Scott and the whole crew, they absolutely just treat us like family. Those guys, I mean, we love them. We really do. They're just incredible people, and they really go out of their way to make sure that we're taken care of. They're really really great people.
It's good to find those kind of pairings. On Monday at 5 o'clock, I've got Eva Gardner, who's Pink's bass player, and I've gotten to know, a great friend of mine was playing drums for Pink forever, and got to see behind their scenes when Pink had their child out on the road. They're at a different position, right? Because they could bring a nanny. They have pretty much all day that they can spend with their kiddo,
Hmm.
and then just have somebody watch the kiddo for like signings and the gig time, and the rest of the time they're homeschooling on the bus.
Yeah.
But when you guys are out, I know that there's a little more hands-on that you got to do with the work part of behind the scenes on gigging. But I applaud you for making the balance. And when you're a parent, right, you just figure it out. But sometimes, and we all know people that this has happened to, parenthood becomes such a priority that their passion for music has to be sort of quashed, and they don't get a chance to do what absolutely fulfills them. And you've figured out a way to make that balance. So I applaud you for it. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
thanks.
Thank you.
yeah,
No, no.
Murderer and Shine loves your awesome tank top. So tell us about your merch. Where is this brand new swag?
Brand new swag. So we have a brand new song called Symphony Metal. And again, one of the dear friend Ik the Troll King here in the chat designed this beauty for me. And we have men's shirts, which why aren't you modeling the men's shirts?
Because Kevin and I have this Eric Carr thing, and then Bruce
We
Kulick
do.
is on the song, and so I thought let's just do this. This kind of encapsulates the whole thing. This is the Crazy Nights shirt,
It
and the
is.
Crazy Nights tour is when I met Bruce and Eric Carr and Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons for the first time when
Wow.
I had just turned 14.
Amazing. I mean, people that know, the original lineup in Kiss might well, if they weren't fans, they might not have realized how much of a contribution Bruce was. But he really,
Yeah,
a lot of musicians know that he was probably the most talented guitarist in all of the different iterations of Kiss. And beyond Kiss, I mean, he's done Grand Funk, right? He's had
yep.
a lot of other, like, amazing other ventures too.
Yeah, Bruce is a freak. He's one of those people you can say, I need to, I need a jazz fusion thing in 10 minutes, and he's your guy. If you need, there's a really cool outtake from the Kiss Unplugged special, which was they were just joking around, and they did a country version of God of Thunder. I don't know if you've heard that,
I
and
haven't.
check it out on YouTube. And it's a whole kind of thing.
Oh
And
no.
Bruce lays into a country guitar solo, and he absolutely nails it. He plays a solo that any Nashville guitarist would just say, "Oh my god."
I want to hear this.
It's
Yeah.
really, really good. Yeah, check it out. It's God of Thunder. It's from the Kiss Unplugged thing. It's an outtake, but it's
Right
on
on.
YouTube. But Bruce, I mean, he's playing that, that jangly honky tonk guitar, and he's killing it.
The quick picking. Well, somebody in the chat too says that, Marina, you do a version of "I Was Made for Loving You." Is that in your Patreon?
I do.
What? Oh my God, that is awesome. I'm betting it's not like the disco version though.
No. I do piano vocal. I can do like once we do a couple of songs, I can play like 30 seconds of it for you.
Yeah. You know, and so guys, if you're watching and didn't know, so Marina and Nick and I, we've known each other for a long time, but at the last minute, I asked her, if she'd be up for playing a song or two. And poor Nick found out just like an hour ago that he was going to have to play some guitar today. So I applaud him for being willing to, and just to throw down. But what I would love, and we just talked about symphony and metal, and it'd be really cool to hear, Marina, that you mentioned that you have a stripped down solo version that you could do. And when we get to the end of this episode, I'm betting a lot of people that are watching on Twitch that are fans of yours have heard the song, but there may be people that haven't heard the entire ensemble with Bruce and Nick on drums and of course, Dave Ellefson. So at the end, we'll play a live lyric video, but what do you think? I mean, you want to maybe throw down a little bit and see if you can give us a solo version of this now?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then,
you can drum on the guitar. Because he played drums on the recording, and we haven't played the song live in a while, so we realized we have not worked out a version together, a good working version. So 1 second.
Right on. I'm going to take myself off camera so we get to see you guys in your full glory.
All right, and I'm going to take my ear thing out. I don't know if you guys, by the way, I see all of your comments in the chat. Thank you so much for being here with us today, you guys. Really appreciate all the comments. I do see you. And so, Kevin, I will not be able to hear you until I'm done with the song and put the ear buds back in. Nick, can you see yourself at all? All right. This is Symphony and Metal. Time can numb the pain, but you won't be whole again. You'll never be whole again. And all your dreams erased. You'll never go home again. You'll never be home, never be home again. You think it's over, and did you waste your time on all the things you never tried? And you say, get me out of here until I'm better. Slay the dragons, live another day. I am symphony and I am metal. Whatever happens, I will be okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. I've been afraid. I live to fight another day. Fear can take you down, and you'll never realize, you'll never realize you are here and now. No need to fantasize, just believe your eyes. You think you're crazy? Unlock those mental chains and now I've been afraid. I live to fight another day. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It only matters if you get back up. Get me out of here until I'm better. Slay the dragons, live another day. I am symphony and I am metal. Whatever happens, I will be okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I've been afraid. I live to fight another day. Let me get my
Awesome. Oh man. Yeah. So as Marina and Nick get their earbuds in again, I want people to know, if you've not done this, go to the link below, go to patreon.com/Marina V. You're going to see a ton there. You can sign up for a few different tiers of membership. You can join for free, but at the tiers of membership, you can get all of the 2022 through 24 songs at the lowest, even the lowest level. And you can download the brand new record and you get exclusive videos, 2 songs a month. So that's $2 a month. That's like less than, a top ramen from the grocery store. So I really do. I mean, I see so many people here in the chat that look like they've all been there. You have to have played that song like on your Twitch before, the Symphony of
a
Metal.
lot, but
Yeah.
never with Nick though, because Nick is
Yeah.
usually on daddy duty with our
Oh,
little girl. They usually have father-daughter night. So usually just me on the piano. So this is really fun to have you on the guitar drumming along. That's
I was
awesome.
it sounds like it's actually an album that you guys were playing, and the quality in there is fantastic. Did you actually record the record there at your place, or did you actually go into no, okay, let me back up a little bit. I'm One thing that people might not know about modern recordings is that in the traditional sense, people used to go into a recording studio, you'd have the drums and bass and rhythm tracks and the foundation built, and then everybody else would pile in and you'd record everything in the same room together. Doesn't need to happen necessarily in modern days. Did you guys do virtual recording where people recorded in separate areas?
Uh, we recorded. Marina usually records. She tracks her piano and vocals here.
Okay.
So she did that, and we had kind of a loop underneath it, and we had a dummy guitar part that was never going to be the finished guitar part. And then we went to our friends Eric Craig and Amanda Mosher. They have a studio in the Valley. You know them? Your eyes.
Oh my God. I know Amanda from gigs up here in Portland. I had no idea. That's so nuts.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. I haven't seen her since pre-COVID. That's unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, that's where we tracked the drums for this.
Wow. Unbelievable.
They have a
Okay.
beautiful studio. They have a really wonderful daughter as well who became friends with Violetta right away. So they're just wonderful people. But that's where we tracked the drums, and then
Okay.
it's one of those things where Marina had already talked to Bruce and David, and we were really hoping to get them on board. They were our first choice,
Yeah.
Well, let's try to get them. And fortunately, they signed on. Did you want to talk about how they recorded their parts?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah, go ahead.
okay. Actually, please do tell me that part. And then I want to touch base on both of those because I think you guys recorded with Bruce before as well, right?
We have recorded with Bruce. He
That's
played on a song on My Star record back in 2009.
right. Okay.
But he did just kind of like very, just beautiful guitar, but nothing crunchy like this. Not
Okay.
not the Bruce we know and love. I mean,
Right.
he's very versatile, but he was like full on his own
Shred.
Bruce self on this one. But anyway, so we all did it in different studios. So I did piano vocal here. Nick did his drums at Manda's in Eric's place in LA, and then the amazing composer and producer on the song, Steve Horner. He is in Minnesota, and he that's all his stuff there. So he arranged his strings, he produced it. So he had, some, like I said, dummy guitars and dummy drums before you did your
I mean,
track.
Steve's still really good.
He's
So his dummy
crazy.
parts were very
He
good.
is ridiculous. He's a genius composer and a producer. Anyway, and then he did his strings there, and then we sent it to Bruce, and Bruce recorded it at his studio in Las Vegas. And then he would send us little audio clips on my phone, just say, "Hey, do you like this part? Do you like that part?" We're like, yeah, there was nothing we didn't like. I mean, he's amazing.
Can I just chime in on that for 1 second? So for me, it was amazing to see Bruce. I mean, me being fanboy here, and I have no problem saying that I'm a fan of Bruce
Of
and
course.
and David all the way. But to hear the care, to just see the whole thing unfold, the care that he put into doing this. I mean, he would record a pass and he would send it to Marina and say, "What do you think? Am I on the right track?" And our only directive to him was, "Be Bruce, play like
Yeah.
you. We want it to be you. We want it to sound like you." And I was just amazed. He put so much care into it, and there was a time he said, "Okay, guys, I'm done for the night. Thanks for your feedback." And then like 2 hours later, Marina gets another message.
He
"Oh,
just
I
couldn't
added
put it
some
down.
stuff. I added some stuff. What did you think? What do you think?" So that was Bruce. That's what it was like to work with
Wow.
him, and I was blown away. And then Ellefson, we had to wait a little bit for him because he was touring with his Kings of Metal thing, Kings of Thrash, Kings of
Right.
Metal,
Yep.
Kings of Thrash, I think, his Megadeth
Yep.
thing. um, and so we had to wait for him, and then he nailed his part as well, and it was just like, wow, I mean, I grew up jamming with guys. One of the first things we ever did was we jammed Metallica and Megadeth songs,
Mm.
and so I'm trying to. If you want to get into the weeds about this just a little bit, Kevin, you'll know this one, but I was trying to play. I was 15 years old trying to play Holy Wars with my friends.
Oh yeah, the Nick Menza, man, that part is so killer.
That whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how close we got, but and then to think that one day down the road we'd be recording a song with David Ellefson. It was just that was amazing. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, no.
Well,
So,
and so
no,
so Dave
Bruce.
Dave did his part separately then.
At the very end, he
Yep.
went to a studio in Arizona where he
Hmm.
lives, and he really wanted to do the bass last. He specifically requested that he will just kind of fill in the gaps.
Which is what Paul McCartney used to do.
Yeah.
That's what
Right.
Paul McCartney used to do for the Beatles. Yeah.
So it was really cool. But then once Bruce and David did their metal parts, I had to re-sing my lead vocal because there was so much testosterone on that track. Like I better
That
up my game because when I originally recorded the vocal, I just did it to my piano and the drum loop. And definitely those guys, you, Nick, and Bruce and David have brought so much awesomeness and badassness to the track.
okay,
I
you
really
mentioned
needed
badass.
to bring some
Yeah.
more, oomph to my vocal.
Let's give some props to your drumming, Nick. Actually, man, your parts are so killer. That is a
Oh,
full
thanks.
absolutely. I had not gotten to hear you play like that before. It was fun. That was a metal performance for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, we wanted it to be, and it was one of those things where, if I'm being completely honest with you, Kevin, I don't love recording in the studio. I
Sure.
just don't love it. The whole process playing. Just anyway. But I was like, I gotta play on this one. I've got to do
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah.
so, and I was just thinking, holy crap, we've got these guys on it. We've got anytime I do something, I want it to be really good. But I really felt it. I felt, I knew who was going to be on this track with us, and
Yeah.
I always want it to be really good. I always do, but I was like, wow, I need to make this as good as I possibly can, and I got to throw some quads in there and some stuff. So
Yeah, you
it was
did.
pretty fun.
Yep. I heard him, man. As a drummer, I was digging that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm no Kevin Rankin, but I did my best.
I uh I've not gotten to hear you sing like that either, Marina. You've got a ton of power in your voice, but I hear it in other ways a lot of times. I can hear some influences, but full originality. But on this one, um, I could hear a little Evanescence, channeling just like a real powerful, I mean,
I'll
ultra
take that.
estrogen,
Hey,
right?
those guys are amazing. I love
Yeah,
the ethereal and the heavy, and
yeah.
it's really really amazing. I'm
So,
very happy with how it turned out, and it's really fun to do something different than we normally do.
yeah,
But we thought Nick and I, when we wrote Symphony and Metal, which we wrote together, we thought like we pretty much have to like do it on the nose, Symphony and Metal. I mean, it's already in the
right.
title. We're not gonna, you know, tiptoe around this. We're just gonna go full on and do it. And we did.
What's the eventual goal with that one? Do you feel like it might be something that you guys could get, Dave and Bruce, and you guys do this live, go play it somewhere for, like in Saudi Arabia for Comic-Con?
If there's enough money, then yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to get everybody together in one room.
Right.
And to do something like that, we'd need the strings too. We'd need to have Steve with some kind of a killer keyboard thing that sounds like an orchestra, and and that guy's brilliant. But it'd just be really hard to get everybody in a room. I think at the same time, everybody's busy; they're all doing their stuff, and that's cool.
That's what I was thinking. Like that's what's going to be so much money. I just pictured an orchestra. I'm like, I'm going to fly in an orchestra somewhere. Like that's not going to happen anytime soon. But if we are at the same event together, like perhaps at NAMM down the road, if we have something going on, maybe that would be super cool. Like it would be cool for me, like doing like the Women Who Rock, event. They have everything set up.
She rocks.
And we could. Yeah, She Rocks. That's right.
Yeah.
They have women in music put every year at that NAMM. That would be super cool because usually David is there. Bruce often comes to NAMM. Yeah. Now that could actually happen. I just need to get my SHIT together and like try to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah. Or I mean, if there's ever a situation where there's like an awards event where the song's nominated, or if there's something like that, maybe we could possibly get everybody in a room at the same time. I don't know, but. Aside from that, it's just so hard to get everybody. We're just grateful that they recorded on it with us.
Yeah. Well, it's a killer song, and like I told people at the end of the episode, we'll go back and we'll play the lyric video, so we'll allow people to just play that out at the very end, and they can see what it sounds like with the entire band, with ripping and shred and solos from Bruce Kulick, and Dave Ellefson's been on the show twice. And I really think the versatility that guy has. I mean, he's not only a metal bass player that played with Megadeth, but he's got a lot of other projects and he does a lot of producing. And he is such a down-to-earth guy that the very first time you meet him, he's like you guys. He's just very humble, and, he's got his coffee company, right? The Ellefson Coffee Company. So you can, have a cup of coffee with the dude and just feel like he's your long-lost brother. But
he's great.
Yeah, he is really a nice human. He is just, really and truly, because you have met a lot of musicians and celebrities, and not everyone is like that, so you really appreciate the ones that are.
Yeah.
Your face.
Well, yeah, I mean, I honestly, I was talking to somebody else about this, that like you, Nick, I grew up in rural Montana where I idolized all of these rock stars, right? The guys that I saw on TV. And then I was fortunate enough to get into these bands that I saw on TV, and I've been touring with them all, and they become friends. And a lot of times, 90% of the time, I love the fact that they are humble humans that have the same kind of problems that we all do, and the same kind of, challenges with parenthood or jobs or whatever. When people aren't as, I think, approachable, or they're difficult. I think when I was younger, I got disappointed because you hold those people up on a pedestal. But then you also realize that because they're also just like us, they might have bad days. Maybe their tax bill came in and it was a lot worse, or maybe somebody in their family is sick. And so I was able to give them more grace, and then it extended outside of just musical celebrities. And one of the things that I see in your automated chats is you mentioned, if you're having a difficult day, week, month, please remember you're not alone. Here's a little zombie hug. I try to stress this on the show, that this kind of connection that we're having right now it's important. And I think this with your Twitch community, that you need to feel connection, that you're not alone, that you have people in your life that are valuable and they can see your value. And, this is not meant to be a soapbox, but I'm going to put this here. There's this 988 crisis line that it's just like 911. You can call when there's an emergency, but the number you see below 988 is if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling in crisis and you feel like there's no alternative, call that phone number if you don't have anybody right next to you, and make sure that you realize that there is somebody there. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But I love the fact that you do this for your community, that it starts with a hug, starts with listening. And at the end of the day, man, we've all got each other, right? So
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that. Thank you for promoting 988. And I wanted to say thanks to my community. I see we're doing zombie hugs. The whole zombie hugs thing, it's, when I'm trying to hug people at the screen, looks like I'm a zombie coming at you. So that's how the
Yeah.
zombie hugs started. So we now joke about it, but we have such a wonderful community indeed. I'm so used to talking to people in the chat and I'm
Yeah.
not talking to them, but I see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Really, I see every one of your names. Thank you for being here. And Kevin, thank you. And by the way, I didn't know my the automatic messages were going to pop up
Oh,
on
that's so
this. I
great.
didn't know they were going
No,
to happen the restream. That's not normally what happens on Twitch, so I didn't realize that. So
no
it's fun
problem.
to see my Twitch stuff. Thank you guys, my Twitch world, and thank you, Kevin, for bringing the suicide prevention line and help. That's great.
Absolutely. No, and guys, I'm sharing some of your chats here. So if people are watching later, yes, the 988, it's national. It's a U.S. number in North America, but um, there have to be alternatives in other places in the world. So if you're watching this elsewhere, just know you're not alone. Hang on to people like this in your community because maybe Marina and Nick can connect with you this way, but the people inside the community are there too. So I think it's important, right? So we all have to look
Absolutely.
out. And I love the fact that your daughter is trying to get in on the chat. She's welcome to make an appearance if you want. It's all good. It's all good.
Kevin, is something funny. Just transitioning out of what you said before about how people are approachable and kind, and
Yeah.
like Ellefson and Bruce. Uh, I met Bruce when, like I said, when I was 14, and then when we got to know him again, I told him the story. I said my buddy and I met you guys in '87, and I said, and you couldn't have been nicer to us. You were super cool, and of course his response was, well, I've changed a lot since then, and but he's a great guy, and I don't know if you can see this. Probably not.
Oh,
Oh, there
there it
you
is.
go.
Oh, look at. Oh man, there's Eric
That
Carr right there,
no,
buddy.
that's Bruce Kulick actually.
Oh, it is. I can't see
Yeah,
faces. I just saw the hair, and it looks like Eric's
yeah.
hair.
It's not the best in the world, but I was the one in the black jacket there. But that yeah, so I sent that picture to Bruce, and he said, "Wow, look at my pants."
Hmm.
But there is a picture
Nice.
with Eric Carr as well.
I think I've seen the picture with you and Eric, and it's hard for me to have conversations with people that don't understand how important he was to me. I mean, you know, and this is maybe not the right place to share it, but I was just telling somebody last night about the recurring nightmare I used to have that when Eric got sick and he had brain cancer,
Yeah.
I was at a Kiss gig in my dream and I went and Paul sees this crowd and he said, I want to know, anybody out to play drums? Because our drummer couldn't make it. And Eric's car is set, his drum set is all set up. And I'm like, hey, man, I know all the songs. And they bring me up on stage and all the drums start sliding away from me and I'm falling off the drum riser. And I'd wake up in a panic. And that thing haunted me for
Wow.
years. And even on stage when things go wrong, I keep going back to the Kiss dream. And so, man, you know, rest in peace, Eric Carr, in my
Yeah.
Kiss dreams. But yeah,
And he died on the same day as Freddie Mercury,
yeah,
which
they lost, overshadowed a lot.
yeah, exactly. So of course Freddie Mercury, of course,
Of
but
course.
but Eric Carr didn't get any coverage at all.
Yeah. There was a little blip on MTV.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was
I
about it.
remember
That was about
Thanksgiving.
it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a wonderful guy too. I met him, and he was super cool, and that's just apparently the way he was with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is a good template, right, for being able to sort of extend that treatment.
Yeah.
As Marina V's stardom has gotten bigger, I mean, I know in a lot of in your circle, you've created a fan base that is sort of non-traditional, right? You're not doing the traditional like boots on the ground touring as much. I mean, you did a whole suite of things for the longest time, from house concerts to small, venues to big theater venues. You mentioned the Macy Gray thing happened the other day. Like she's amazing, and what a powerhouse to have both of you guys on stage at the same time. I think
That's
that's
cool. Thank
phenomenal.
you.
Uh, with the Symphony and Metal gig, it just seems like it probably opens the door, right, for you to have other collaborations. Is there anybody you're planning to work with that this might have opened the door for?
I don't know, but it's the whole new, not specific person, but now that we've done something quite different than we normally have, I am just more excited about doing even more genre exploration for
Hmm.
me, wherever that brings me. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I'm just, anything goes. I love that the times that we live in now, we
Yeah.
can do whatever we want, however we want to it, on our terms. And I think it's beautiful. It was not like that for a long time. And we have equipment to do it ourselves.
Right.
So, worst comes to worst, it does not come out great and nobody listens to it. I mean, if that's the worst thing, so what? Like, we can
Right.
experiment and go crazy. So, what thoughts? Not go crazy, that's my Aussie.
Go crazy. No, I always told Marina that I think she could do an absolutely amazing new age album because
Mm.
her progressions and her melodies. If you just do something instrumental, of course you have a beautiful voice, obviously, but if you do with your melodies and your progressions, you do something ethereal that's instrumental. I think it'd be amazing. I think
Yeah.
something like that would be really cool. And also, if Paul McCartney returns our call, he's welcome to play on anything that we
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Right. You're not going to do sort of creative direction on Paul and say, you know what? I'm not really. I don't think
I'm
that
not
part.
feeling it,
That,
Paul. I'm not feeling it.
that eh, I had Kip Winger on the show about a week ago,
Yeah.
and most people that maybe were just sort of superficial fans and didn't know the depth of that guy's musicality. But he got nominated for a Grammy for his violin concerto. He's got a new concerto that's going to be a live recording in Nashville in May. His classical compositions, they're very much a part of his life. I mean, that really is the legacy that he wants to lead. And I was just picturing that collaboration, right? You've got his symphonic piece with his orchestra and your symphony metal. Not a
That'd be
bad
great.
partnership.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. You know what's funny is I listen. I don't know if you know the Nothing But a Good Time was the book, and they've turned it into a mini series, I think. But I actually listened to the audiobook, and they talked to all the producers, they talked to the stars and everything. The producers who worked with Winger, they said they were the best group of musicians they'd ever produced. And of course, then they're on Beavis and Butthead, and the kids wearing the Winger shirt, and he's the one that and then it all went downhill for them. Kip Winger was nice looking. Sure, I'd play that up too,
Right.
if But they were, by all accounts, they were as good or better musicians than a lot of the bands out there at the time.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, I also had Rod Morgenstein, the drummer from the band, on the show. And prior to Winger, right, he was this crazy progressive fusion guy that kept getting recognized as the number one prog rock drummer from Modern Drummer magazine. And for years and years before he ever got into Winger. So I think all of those guys are accomplished, and they kind of want to dispel the stereotype, or
Sure.
debunk the stereotype that rock and rollers are just like uh, amateur musicians, and it's certainly not the case. These guys they're legit. But
Right.
um, your guys' background too. I was thinking a little bit about this because Marina, you've expanded your catalog in terms of the type and style that you play. When you first were starting, was it classical music? Was that what you were mostly focused on?
When I studied classical, I went to classical school of music and did piano and choir, and I can notate music and conduct a choir. But when I started writing songs, which was a very, very young age, it was my daughter's age, around 5. Um, they always came to me like singer-songwriter style, just with pop sensibilities, but that's about it. And I only had one instrument, piano and my voice, and that's what came out. So I didn't really plan on any specific genre. It's kind of really happened, but I didn't realize I could even do this as a career because I never heard outside of perhaps like songs like very stripped down, like Here, There, and Everywhere, for example, which is just a very few instruments. Most, or like Yesterday, obviously just vocal and guitar and some old strings. But I mean, I did not know I could do this because like who just sings with just one instrument? There's usually like a whole bunch of sounds. And as a kid, I'm like I don't know. I didn't even think I could even do anything. So I just kept writing for my own self and playing piano and singing.
Nick, before you answer, I was just going to ask. So you grew up in Russia. You were playing. Did you have opportunities to play? And because I don't know enough about sort of the entertainment culture there, were you able to play in like recitals and live performances to be able to get an audience? Because I was trying to think about maybe was that the draw for you to get an audience watching you?
I had no idea that I wanted an audience. I just, the only type of audience we had was like doing like classical piano recital, which was terrifying because I really don't like reading from music because you cannot deviate in classical music and make one
Right.
wrong note, and that's considered a mistake. So I never quite liked that. And then, like, singing in the choir and then people clapping, but I never realized, and there were really no other avenues, and my parents had no idea what to do with a kid that writes songs and wants to perform. I didn't even know I wanted to perform. I wrote songs. But shortly after I met Nick, at my university, shout out to Illinois College in Jacksonville, Illinois. There was a contest, talent contest thing, and like everybody did their thing, like as college students do. And I sang my original song that Nick and I wrote together, and I, you know, and I got the first prize, $100. I won $100, which was a really big deal. Back then, it was a lot of
Yeah.
money. I was a broke college student, but also what really shocked me was the reaction of my fellow students. There were like literally two girls that I know I can think of that came up to me and said they had tears in their eyes. That's how my song moved them. And I didn't even think like that. Like I was just shocked. And that really, really kind of opened like the whole like, whoa, my song can make somebody feel that. Not just me who wrote it,
Yeah.
but somebody else who doesn't know me from anyone. Anyway.
What you said.
Anyway, but Nick encouraged me tremendously because really growing up in Russia, things were really tough. When I was growing up, it was very turbulent times. People didn't have enough money. People worried about just surviving, just getting enough money to eat.
Sure.
And so never even thought that a career in music was even like, it never even crossed my mind.
Sure.
Until I
What
came
did,
to America and kind of started like, oh, people can like start from nothing and become the Beatles, you know? Well, I'm not
what,
that
wa-
they're American. I'm not saying they're American. But
right. Yeah. But no, but that was the dream. I mean, even the Beatles, right, wanted to come to America to have that.
yeah, that's right.
But
That's right. Yeah.
when you came to Illinois, what was the intent? What did you want to do for a career?
Well, I came to Illinois just, it happened by chance. I won a scholarship. There was a big scholarship a competition across the former Soviet Union for kids my age, 15-year-olds. I was 15 when I came to America. And it was all expenses paid scholarship to live in America and study in high school for a year as a cultural representative of someone from Russia. And they placed me in small town, not me, they placed students like me in small
Yeah.
towns across the United States. And for most people, I was the first foreign person they had ever met, and definitely the first Russian.
I'll
So that
bet.
was the whole goal of that scholarship. So that's how I came to be in Illinois. It really happened by chance. I wasn't planning to, and it was such an amazing opportunity. My parents couldn't pass it up to have your kid, gain. I mean, what a really a chance in life just to go somewhere where they could have never had the
Oh,
right to. So made some
yeah.
to study abroad for a year.
Did you face some sort of discrimination being Russian coming over because they're at, like at different parts in American times, right? There's been a real challenge between Russia and America. At that point, did you feel like there was some discrimination against you in school?
Thank you for asking. Believe it or not, no. I was worried, and they warned us during the orientation that it might happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that maybe that's why they sent young, cute teenagers, because most people that, especially older generation, young kids, just like, whoa, foreign person with an accent, what?
Right.
But older people who have lived through the Cold War and who have been told their whole life, these, horrible Russians, the enemy, duck and
Right.
cover, all that stuff. People, they would tell me, like, I cannot believe, I'm here seeing you, little Russian girl. Like, you're not the enemy.
Right.
I mean, so many people have told me that. It is amazing. But that was the whole point. It was sponsored by the American government to bring peace and understanding between our countries. So it was really, it was incredible.
You know, I've had Kip Winger and I had this conversation that at points in our life, in our lifetimes, the relationships we've had with other countries is strained. And right now, America is more probably divided than I could ever imagine. And a lot of the opinions about people different than them, or us, comes from ignorance, from not traveling. So you
Always,
talk about
always.
all
Ignorance is yeah, the
and
culprit
it's
of
important,
most
right?
things in life.
Yeah. Once you travel and you see other cultures and you meet other people and you realize they are absolutely the same underneath, right? You pull back the skin color or the sort of outer shell, and all the same parts. They're all there. We're all like, and it's a really important thing to be able to be objective and look at other cultures and look at um, other sort of nationalities, and see that the challenges they may have had were very similar, or maybe more difficult and different than they were told, right? And now the media tells you one thing about certain areas, and I mean, depending on what media you watch, it's so controlled that people don't get a chance to really connect with people. And the show, I mean, we're talking about connection. I didn't mean to make it thematic, but how did you bridge that gap where, because you're traveling, maybe not so much in school, but I would imagine you're dealing with it. If you openly admit to being a Russian musician, I I I would imagine you had to have had some backlash where you had to overcome that first stereotype by performing or communicating and having them see that she is just like us, and just sweet.
Yeah. By the way, thank you for saying all those things. Traveling, and we have traveled so much through touring. You have traveled, and I think as musicians, we see it even more than just a regular traveler, perhaps, because we see how music and art brings people together, and we are the same. We all
Yeah.
feel and we connect, and it's so beautiful. And I haven't experienced much discrimination early on, but since the war between Russia and Ukraine started, there have been some things that haven't been great, and
I'll
it's
bet.
hard because I have family in both Russia and Ukraine,
Mhm.
and I see a lot of pain everywhere. But I think the key is to find the common language, and find even like one thing in common, like music, like art, something
Yeah.
beautiful, children,
Yeah.
nature, all these lovely, amazing things, space, things that unite us, and just and really try to, you know, just focus on that, and from love and empathy,
Mm.
the rest diminishes, I believe, because we will always have political views and religious opinion. I mean, we will have all of those things that divide us, but
Right.
if we really have to work hard to focus on things that um, make us human, which we all
Yeah.
are, and we're connected. And as a musician, I really feel it's our mission as musicians just to bring positivity and feelings of empathy into this life. So
Absolutely.
I
No,
don't
it's
know. What would you
important.
have to say, Mara?
Thank you. I think that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you spoke about that, you can see that it weighs on you as well. I mean, it does all of us. I mean, that kind of the temperament right now in the country keeps me up at night a lot. I've been traveling a lot since November. I've toured Canada for about a month. Met an amazing lady that I've been spending a lot of time with up there. So when I'm there and I'm watching different political things happening between Canada and the US, I can see how things appear differently. I can see how people respond to things differently. And it's really important to try and take perspective from somebody else, and I don't mean to change this into that type of conversation, but I think you touched on that music is the absolute facilitator in breaking those barriers, or at least overcoming some of that. When if nobody knew where somebody came from, but you all ended up at a concert together and you're sharing that same space, that is where connection is made, right? So if we were able to sort of erase, each other's names and sources on our media here, and people could just listen to you performing your music today on this show right now, they wouldn't be thinking about who's in charge, or who's in, what people are saying in the media, or what's happening politically anywhere. And we can just embrace this here right now, this connection. I think it's really important. I love that you took a.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You took a breath when you said it, and I just wanted to say, taking a breath is what we all need. So, please.
No, I was just gonna say that's exactly what we do on our Twitch streams. We actually specifically stay away from politics. Do not talk politics. We even say like our little world here is a little refuge just to enjoy music and be together and feel together and exist together. And it's been really amazing.
Yeah, I saw one of the best shows I think I've ever seen a couple of years ago. It was Black Label Society and Anthrax. And Anthrax came out and they absolutely killed it. After about 2 songs, Scott Ian came to the mic and said something fairly similar to what you said. He said, we might all have different opinions, different thoughts on this, but tonight, look around, we're all the same. This is all one. And of course, he said, we're all one metal family, right?
Right.
And he was right. And he was spot on. And then, you know, bringing more. And Anthrax was always really good at like you talked about the intergenre stuff, you know, with Public Enemy, the stuff they did with Public Enemy.
Yeah, rap and metal.
Some of that. And they brought out Chuck D that night, and they did Bring the Noise with Chuck D, and it was super cool. And you just see, it was at the Palladium in Hollywood, and you just see all these metalheads, and you look around and you're like, we're all having the same response to these songs. No, it doesn't matter where we are politically or anything. We're all having the same response. They're doing Caught in a Mosh, and we're like, oh yeah, there it is, you know. And it does. It brings everybody together. Just to reiterate.
So maybe that's what we need. Oh, this is great. Yeah, Debbie says shout out from Illinois. She's a Chicago girl through and through. So Deb, good to see you. She'll recognize this cup. She knows that my hero, my Mr. Rogers is my dude. Absolutely. Folks, there you go. You're special. Well, let's talk about the great facilitator, the great connection. Do you guys feel like you could do a tune together?
Yeah, you want to do Strength I Need?
Yeah, are you gonna join me on the choruses?
Yeah, I will. I will join you from the bridge on.
Okay.
Because we thought like, okay, what song? Because I am all rehearsed because I do my Twitch streams, but we haven't played together in a while. Again, I would not be able to be doing as many streams or do as much music if Nick wasn't such an amazing dad, you know, really taking care of little girls, so I can continue doing this. So big shout out to Dr. Daddy there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a doctor and he's daddy, so Dr. Daddy.
Dr. Daddy. I may not call him that when we see each other, but
yeah, please don't do that.
Just Doc works. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take myself off camera. And guys, if you're in the chat and you got here late, make sure, if you've not done so, go to patreon.com/Marina V. You can see amazing opportunities right there to support Marina and get access to all the great music. And I would also love it if you came from Twitch, go over to youtube.com/@AccessKevin. Subscribe to this channel. So one of the people is saying that your mic is low. I turned up your volume here, but before you start singing, if you can just boost your level just a tiny bit, and then.
All right, I was just speaking away from the mic. So,
there we go.
Right on it.
That sounds great.
I keep forgetting because I'm holding the mic for Nick, and I just keep going too far from it. So all good now. I promise you'll hear me.
All right. So here's Marina V and Nick Baker. What song are you playing?
This song is called "The Strength I Need." It's basically what it says in the title.
Awesome.
So finding it within yourself to do the best you can in life.
Awesome. All right. Marina
V.
Thank
you so much, Kevin. All right, I'm taking this out for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks again to everybody in the chat. You guys, you're awesome. So I tried, didn't win. Everything that could have gone wrong surely did. Take me home, lay me down. Give me time to get my feet back on the ground. And when I feel I'm breaking down, when my soul loses feeling, when there's no one else around, and there's no one to heal me, will I it hard. Found my dreams are still alive, but torn apart. Let me search, let me find, let me mend it all together in my mind. And when I feel I'm breaking down, when my soul loses feeling, when there's no one else around, and there's no one to heal me, will I be the strength I need? Will I be the strength I need? And the time stands still, and the time stands still, and I'm feeling things I thought I'd never feel. And the time stands still, and my days are long, but I'll be strong, I'll be strong, I'll be strong. When I feel I'm breaking down, when my soul loses feeling, when there's no one else around, and there's no one to heal me, and when all I see is doubt, when words lose all meaning, when my screams have lost their sound, and there's no the strength I need, will I be the strength I need? I will be the strength I need. Okay, hold on. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me, and I can't get enough of you, baby. Can you get enough of me?
Awesome.
Just for you there, Kevin.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. That was a nice little
You're
nugget.
welcome.
Good stuff.
I
Yeah,
promised
Larry.
I almost forgot.
Oh no, that was amazing. I can't wait to hear the full version of that one. But
I'll send it
that
to you.
that was beautiful, you guys, and phenomenal. You've got a ton of fans that have just jumped in. Larry DeFox subscribed to your Twitch Prime, so cheers to Larry DeFox. And Heather Butler must be a huge Nick Baker fan because she kept throwing down guitar picks and asking how you're doing. So um,
Yeah, we have a
people,
lot of, we recognize a lot of people in the chat here. These guys are amazing, and we hang out every week. But Nick almost never joins us on streams because, he's taking care of our daughter. So thank you for
yeah,
that. But so they're
I'm.
excited to see Nick and I perform together. It's so rare.
It is a rare thing. I'm grateful for some of the exclusives. That's super cool. Um, if people do not know, there's the Patreon link there below, but there's also some other stuff out there. You can go to marinav.com. Marina V, is it marinav.com or Marina V
Yeah.
Music?
MarinaV.com. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that you've got links to all your socials there, got all the upcoming releases. You have another new release besides Symphony Metal, right? Here
We
she
tried to
comes.
get our little
Let's.
daughter to come say hello. Sorry.
Yeah, no, please. Like she did the first time too, but that was 3 years ago. So she's
Okay. Can you try to bring her in here? He's gonna try. So sorry, Kevin. It's just that
no,
she's
no,
like
it's okay.
peeking out from the couch like a little whack-a-mole. And
I love it.
whack-a-mole game. Just like a little head pops out. Oh.
I love
And
it. No,
she's been
uh,
very patient. We should have come to think of, we should have gotten a babysitter because it's she's like very bored with our with
no,
this.
man, she's a lot more patient than I would have been at
Well, that's true.
54. So
Much more patient than I would have been at that age too. She's 5
there
years
she
and yeah.
is. Awesome. Do you want to unplug your buds just so she can hear us? And I know there'll be a little echo, but it'll be fun to that way. Where'd she go? She ran away. Hey, can you hear me? Where'd you go? I wanted to say hi.
She's a little grump.
That's all right. No, she was very patient. So I wanted
She's
to
been
thank
very
her.
patient.
I wanted to thank her for
Very patient,
sharing
yeah.
mom and dad.
All right.
Uh, so
We probably that's that's real life
that's
with
that's the
little
best.
kids.
Yeah, that is. If people are parents, they know this is how it goes. But Minute and Time is out, so they can get that on the streaming platforms. You can probably order it from marinav.com as well if they wanted to. Got some merchandise, right? So there's some merchandise you can see. Marina's showing off this amazing tank, and I think the designer for the merch is there in the chat. So hopefully they're able to reap the benefits of seeing their merchandise everywhere with Marina fans watching. And the brand new single. So there are two things. We've got the Spider-Man series. You can find out about how Marina V got this opportunity to work with the Marvel Universe and this Spider-Man series on her Patreon. All the behind the scenes, super cool. Walk through there, and then Symphony and Metal. This collaboration you did with Bruce Kulick and Dave Ellefson, Nick on drums, and of course the amazing Marina V. So you played a stripped down solo piano version of that with Nick playing cone type style on the guitar. But we're going to play this thing out with the real version, the full electric version, the symphonic and metal version with a lyric video. So I'm going to take us off camera in a moment.
And
But
just
before we do,
thank you,
go
Kevin.
ahead.
Just want to say thank you. You guys, you might not realize this guy is an incredible drummer. A lot of my and amazing human being, obviously. And
Thank
just
you.
thank you so much for having us, Kevin. Really appreciate it.
And Kevin, yeah, what Marina said. And for those of you who don't know, Kevin, you're currently playing with Flock of Seagulls, right?
That's right. My 10th year. It's amazing.
When we met you, you were playing with Animotion. And Kevin is he's an amazing human being first and foremost, which is the most important of all. And truly, we mean that absolutely. But I mean, super killer drummer as well.
Thank you.
The guy can play anything and very well as well. So yeah, makes everybody around him up their game. So in a lot of ways, Kevin. So thank you.
I appreciate the
So
kudos.
you guys, please make sure to subscribe to Kevin on YouTube. So youtube.com/@accesskevin, and it's at like the little at symbol thing at Access Kevin. It's on the screen right here. So if you're watching, I know a lot of you guys on Twitch. Thank you so much on my Twitch family. So please, he interviews a lot of cool people. So make sure to subscribe to Kevin. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
I'm
You're
grateful.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, well, thank your daughter again for sharing her time, and both of you guys and all the people that are here in the chat. You've been so gracious. It's been fun to watch their support in you. So, Alan, Roche, the big fan of Flock of Seagulls. I am too. So, thank you, guys. Get out there.
Suck if you were not.
Oh yeah, right. No, man, I hit the
Gig
lottery.
after gig.
I just I'm grateful. And aren't we fortunate to get to do what we love and have people come out and actually watch it, right? So, thank you guys for
Thank you,
giving the
Kevin.
shout out.
Thank you. And thanks everybody in the chat, you guys.
If they subscribe to this channel, they can go back through and look at 350 other episodes that I've done with great guests. Flock of Seagulls is in there, but Marina V has been there before too. So you can see a different
Here's
side
a
of
zombie
Nick
hug
Marina.
for you, Kevin, and everybody in the chat.
Right on, you guys. So here's what you get when we play out. We're going to do the lyric video to Symphony and Metal and Nick and Marina, and we're gonna jump off camera. We're just gonna share this little live music video or this lyric video with you, and I hope
Kevin,
that you can all give each other hugs.
Thank you. And Kevin, I just want to say we're going to hold you to that next time you're in our neck of the woods. You got to come over. You got to come over.
I will do it.
Okay, dinner.
Right. Oh yes, awesome. Sounds good. Guess what? I love to eat. Thanks again, Murdered and Shrine too. They weren't expecting this, but they're glad we did this. So are we. All right, Marina, Nick, thanks again. I'll talk to you guys soon. Everybody, have a great time and enjoy the video.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Kevin.
I'll see you, buddy.
Time can numb the pain, but you won't be whole again. You'll never be whole again. All your dreams erased. You'll never go home again. You'll never be home, never be home again. You think it's over, and did you waste your time on all the things you never tried? And you say, get me out of here until I'm better. Slay the dragons, live another day. I am symphony and I am metal. Whatever happens, I will be okay. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I've been afraid. I live to fight another day. Fear can take you down, and you'll never realize. You'll never realize you are here and now. No need to fantasize, just believe.